Hey closet pickers, welcome back. My name's Terry, over there is Bruce. Hope you all have been doing well. Today we are going to demonstrate and dive into my new Matchless Clubman Reverb. It's a 2020 model and it's been that unicorn, if you will. I've been trying to get one of these for quite some time and I must say it was worth the wait. So we're going to go through the tubes that I have put in it. We're going to go through the different tones. I'm going to use this as a Stratocaster, and then I will use a Telecaster as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get to it. Hey closet pickers, welcome back. Okay, diving into this Matchless Clubman. I picked it up about a month ago. Have always wanted one, and I must say it was well worth the wait. And I know I have demonstrated a couple other boutique amps before, and this is no exception, obviously. I mean, some of you pickers out there obviously know the name Matchless. It is very highly regarded in the boutique amp industry. But the thing I was very impressed with, I was going to put new tubes in it because they come out with JJ Teslas, which are your, it's normal. All new amps, I think, are coming out with those because they're affordable and they get the job done. So I called Matchless, and who picks up the phone but Phil himself, the builder. So I think that is so cool when you can call a company and talk to the person that is in charge of basically everything. That to me it puts it on a whole personal level, and I really think that is a very great quality in a company. Now I realize all of them can't do it, but Matchless does it. So anyway, when I was talking to Phil about what tubes to put in it, he flat out right away said Telefunken for the preamp sections. And it has an EF86 in the preamp section. And he said hands down that is the one to go with, because by many it is the most desirable and best sounding EF86 that money can buy. There's no factual to that, but it's just the majority of the opinions out there do say that. So what I did is I loaded it up with a Telefunken EF86, and as you can see it has the Mazda logo, which is companies back in the day would buy tubes and put their name on it, and then just use it with their company name on it. Very common. This tube is from the 60s. In fact, all the tubes that I have in this are from the 60s. And I was once told that the tubes that were made in the 60s, like the Mullards normally came out in Marshalls and Vox as well. And with your Fender amps in the 50s, 60s, RCA was the big name for tubes back then. And I was told, I don't know how true it is, but I was told that tubes don't last and sound as good today's constructions because of the amount of arsenic that was able to be used back in the 60s. How true that is, I don't know, but there is a reason these tubes are still around. Telefunkens and Mullards are known to have a 10,000 hour lifespan, so that's quite a bit. I'm going to do a whole nother segment on just the tubes themselves, but I just kind of wanted to give you that background. With that being said, these tubes, they just sound, they just open it up. Like Phil described, he said that's going to take this amp to a whole new level. And he was right. It just opened it up, and you got to have a discriminating ear, and it is just, it's 3D. It's just like the amp, you feel everything that you're playing. It's like so articulate. And like I said, we will go through that as well. The power tubes that I used are Mullards. They're 1963, and for you geeks out there like me, they are the XF2 codes, and those are the most desirables. Those were made in the early 60s, came out in the early Marshalls all the way up into your Plexis. 68, 67, those were the big years as well. So I purchased a pair of those, and they were new in the box. They still had the writing on them, and you tube guys out there know if you just look at one of these tubes wrong, the writing just falls off. I think it's just silk screened on there, and it's just over time it just turns like a powder. So I'm accidentally touch the spot and rub part of it off anyway. But nonetheless, I fired this thing up and it is amazing. So with no further ado, we are going to turn this thing on, and I'm going to start out with a Stratocaster first and see what she sounds like. Let's get to it. Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. A lot of different tones just using the selector on the Strat. I gotta say, I'm not really crazy about the neck position. The amp to me doesn't shine there because the amp is built more of a Vox AC30 type sound. So I think your neck pickups are really going to shine through like a 2-rock or an old Fender Blackface. But it still sounded great, don't get me wrong. But I find myself leaning more towards the neck in the middle position, the one down from the neck, and then also the one up from the bottom. So that would be the bridge and the middle pickup. Those to me just sound so clean, so full. When I get into that neck and bridge pickup, it was just jangly. It was just like so bell tone like. It was just pure, clean. That's the best way I can describe it. Just loved it. So now let's move on to the Telecaster. Okay, the Telecaster is fantastic through this amp. I love it. I actually almost like it better than the Stratocaster, which I didn't think could happen. But the Tele is just, it's nothing special. It's got some Kinman pickups in it, and I have an oil capacitor in it, and I have the resistor roll off for the treble, for the tone. But other than that, it's really, it's not souped up. And keep in mind, in all these demonstrations, I am going strictly from the amp to the guitar. No pedals, nothing in between. It's just the amp and the guitar. Now the Tele, it just has that one trick pony. It just sounds that when you put it in that bridge position, you can play almost any kind of music with it. I mean, you can go anywhere from Petty to Dwight Yoakam, and with just the change of your volume knob or just minor settings on the amp. But I kind of found that sweet spot that I like. The settings that I put on this amp, it just really makes it shine. Granted, it might be a little much for club volume, but nonetheless, outdoor gigs would be fantastic. And you can always put something in front of it so you don't totally upset your sound man. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I know I'm going to enjoy this amp for years to come. If you ever get the opportunity, go check one out. You will absolutely fall in love with it. Everybody needs to experience an amp like this. And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm Terry. That's Bruce. Thanks again for tuning in to Guitar Closet. We'll see you soon.